supply and demand. Understanding the dynamic interplay between supply and demand is crucial for business and economists. This presentation explores the fundamental principles that govern these market forces and their impact on pricing and equilibrium. What is supply and demand? Supply, the quantity of a good or service that producers are willing and able to sell at different prices during a given period. Demand, the quantity of a good or service that consumers are willing and able to purchase at different prices during a given period. Equilibrium, the point where the quantity supplied equals the quantity demanded, resulting in a stable market prices. The law of supply. 1. Positive relationships. The law of supply states that the price of a good or service increases, the quantity supplied also increases. 2. Reasons. Producers are willing to supply more at higher prices to cover increased production costs and make a profit. 3. Exceptions. The law of supply might not hold in the short run due to capacity constraints or perishable goods. The law of demand. Negative relationships. The law of demand states that as the price of a good or service increases, the quantity demand decreases. Reasons. Consumers are less willing to purchase a good or service when its price is higher, all else being equal. Exceptions. The law of demand might not hold for goods with inelastic demand, such as necessities or luxury items. Diminishing marginal utility. The law of demand is based on the principles of diminishing marginal utility, where each additional unit of a good provides less satisfactions. Equilibrium, price and quantity. 1. Surplus. When the quantity supplied exceeds the quantity demanded, a surplus occurs, causing the price to decrease. 2. Shortage. When the quantity demanded exceeds the quantity supplied, a shortage occurs, causing the price to increase. 3. Equilibrium. The equilibrium price is the point where the quantity supplied and quantity demanded are equal and the market is in balance. Shift in supply and demand. Shift in supply change in factors like production costs, technology, or the number of suppliers can cause the supply costs to shift, affecting the equilibrium. Shift in demand. Factors such as consumer preference, income, or the price of related goods can cause the demand curve to shift, impacting the equilibrium. No equilibrium. The new equilibrium price and quantity are determined by the interactions of the shift supply and demand curve. Factor affecting supply: production costs. Change in the cost of inputs like labor, materials, or energy can impact the supply of a good or service. Technology advancements in technology can increase productivity and efficiency, leading to an increase in supply. Number of suppliers and interest or decrease in the number of producers or sellers can affect the overall supply in the market. Government policies, regulations, subsidies, or tax can influence the cost and incentives for producers, affecting and supply. Factor affecting demand: consumers' income. An increase in consumer income typically leads to an increase in demand for normal goods. Consumer preference, change in consumer taste or preference can shift the demand curve for a good or service. Prices of related goods. The demand for a good can be affected by the price of complementary or suited goods. Populations. An increase in the size of the populations can lead to an increase in the overall demand for goods and service. The demand curve. 1. Quantity demand. The horizontal axis represents the quantity of a good or service that consumers are willing and able to purchase. 2. Price. The vertical axis represents the price or the amount consumers are willing to pay for the good or service. 3. Downward slope. The demand curve has a negative slope indicating the inverse relationships between price and quantity demand. The supply curve. 1. Quantity supply. The horizontal axis represents the quantity of a good or service that producers are willing and able to sell. 2. Price. The vertical axis represents the price or the amount producers are willing to accept for the good or service. 3. Upward slope. The supply curve has a positive slope indicating the direct relationship between price and quantity supply.